now. Once again, welcome to the Sensiba Sage Intacct quarterly release review. We're going to just go through some of the cherry-picked features of this new release for our customers. And we are excited to once again bring you another version of Sage Intacct coming out. If you haven't met us before, which seems unlikely, I'm Tom Aker, the Senior Solutions Consultant here at Sensiba. I've been working with Sage Intacct for over a decade now, amazingly. And so I've seen a few quarterly releases come through, and very happy to be here today to show you or just talk with you about some of the new things that are coming out next, well, actually tomorrow.
And my name is Michael Sudbury. I'm the Senior Systems Implementation Specialist with Sensiba. I always look forward to these releases, and I enjoy Sage bringing out new feature enhancements and new products that will make your life a lot easier. Because I too have been on the consumer side of Sage Intacct, doing my accounting with it, and I always like to see what they have new to bring to the table. So some of the things we wanted to feature with this R-Run release are the AP automation, multi-line GL coding, and PO multi-level matching, which are going to greatly expand people looking to use the AP automation tool. Also, version history and financial reports, Intacct professional services automation, restriction of the contact list on the vendor and customer records, inventory utilities, some new features for the inventory module, reconciliation matches, and a custom report writer. Downloading the import templates. Now you don't have to go to companies, so we'll touch on that later. Consolidations drill-down, and then also some new products that are coming out, Sage Intacct Data Flow and Sage Intacct Forms and Operations. And I think one thing we want to mention here, Tom, is that we got a lot last release. Here we're seeing some minor changes in some new products coming on board.
Yeah, so this time is more refinements in early adopter products, which we'll take a look at first here, and then a lot of user experience improvements that aren't going to blow up the world, but they will make life easier day to day for a lot of our users.
Absolutely.
So first up, we have the AP automation, which the AP automation itself has been in general availability for a few quarters now. And what they're doing is with the early adopter program, which is available to companies who have the need for it, they're rolling out multi-line GL coding. So what that means is that the learning models are getting more specific about how you code to accounts and dimensions within the lines of invoices. So as it learns that data, the AI gets better at pre-coding invoices that you upload through the AP automation tool. So, if you're already using AP automation and you might need this availability or this functionality, then let us know. We can work with you to get that early adopter access. But it's that whole allowing you to drag and drop invoices into Sage Intacct and let it draft the invoice record in the system.
Yeah, it could be drag and drop, or if you have an AP email set up, it could also ingest from there as well. And this is just that next big step, right? So AP automation is great, but we were stuck at the single line level. Now with the multi-level line coding, and even the next big expansion that I want to mention, the PO matching. That was another limitation for people that were interested in the Sage AP automation tool, but maybe it wasn't as feature rich just yet. It didn't meet enough of the requirements. I think these two features that are in early release currently really do expand that quite a bit and make it a robust tool and a very good option for people wanting to automate their AP. So now we also have PO level line matching that can be accommodated through the automation tool itself. So very excited to see that come out. I think that's going to be very useful to organizations who were looking at this as an option.
Yeah, and once again, that is an early adopter functionality. So reach out to me or Michael or whoever your contact is at Sensiba if you want to apply to that early adopter program.
And Tom, I don't think we've mentioned what the early adopter programs are on a recent webinar. So maybe that'd be a great reminder at this time.
Yeah, so it's it's just early access, kind of basically beta testing and adding to the learning models, particularly on these AI um, functionalities, so that overall, even though your data is private, that the system, the machine learning gets better at doing its job. So they do these early adopter things with customers who can get functionality or get benefit from that functionality and provide feedback, and that helps the general release when it comes out, and can help your efficiency in the short term too.
Yeah, thanks for that refresher. I think that'd be useful for some people who aren't familiar with the early adopter programs.
Yeah.
So it's not out in this general release this next time. You can do it if you request to join that early adopter program and they have availability.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I'm really excited about is I'm always running reports. I'm always building reports. The financial reports writer now has version history for the financial reports. So anytime someone goes in and makes a change over a report, now we have visibility as to what version that report is. It also retains the previous version. So if someone goes in and changes a report and like, oh, all my columns are incorrectly formatted now, or oh, I had it the way I liked it, but someone came in there and ran the report and just ruined it. No big deal anymore. You can actually save, how many is it, Tom? Up to 100
That's what I heard,
versions?
up to 100 versions of a given
Yeah.
report. So yeah.
So I definitely like that, one of these ones that's not earth shattering, but can definitely be a little devastating if someone goes in and ruins one of your reports. So the
Yeah.
version history will help both with visibility and then also retaining those old versions. So I'm very excited to see this.
Yeah. And that, if you're me, that someone who wrecked your report could be yourself.
Exactly.
So a new product. This isn't a part of the core package, but a new product that is coming out, and we'll get more information about this at the Transform conference in a couple weeks. But Sage Intacct Professional Services Automation is a new product that works with companies who are using the product or project costing and billing in Sage Intacct currently. This adds on another whole level of resource management and helping to find those resources that you need and make sure that everybody is properly utilized and focused, and just generally keeping on top of that demand management for professional services. So this will particularly be useful for engineering, consulting, potentially law firms. So anybody who's in professional services, I think that this will be something cool to look at. It is powered by Forecast. You can check out Forecast's functionality online, and which is what I did, and we'll find out more about it, like I said, at Transform event in a couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that.
Another small change, but it will be very useful for the user experience is now you can restrict vendor and customer contacts to only those that are on the pay to and return to. So if you've ever went into a bill or an invoice and you tried to change that contact, you get a full list of all your contacts in Intacct. And that's one, annoying to see all of them if you just needed to change to something else that was on that record. But then two, not a very good control if someone accidentally selects the wrong contact. So this helps mitigate both those issues. You can restrict it to just that record for the vendor and the customer. So if you needed to change the pay to on your vendor or customer or the return to, you would only see the ones that reside on that record, and you will no longer see the entire contact list. So two nice benefits there from having the ability to now restrict that.
Yeah, I've seen that on the wish list in community for a long time, so it's great that it's now in production or
And
will be tomorrow.
that's a great reminder as well, just that you brought it up. A lot of these releases are feature requests that are made by you, the Intacct user. So if you've never been out to community, there's plenty of ideas out there and they all get upvoted. And it's fun to see it started as an idea out there and then come into general release. And I'll show you where that is a little bit later today.
In the inventory module, there's a new permission that needs to be created if you want to give access to this, but this inventory utilities is actually 3 different sets of reports. And there's 3 tabs under inventory utilities. Here you can see here we've got transaction definitions, GL subledger reconciliations, and then landed cost reports. So under each of those are several reports, which will really help with getting your inventory reconciled to your GL, making sure that your transaction flows are rational in the way that they're affecting your inventory through the purchasing and order entry processes. And I think this will just be hugely valuable for our clients who are using inventory.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one. Even the GL subledger reconciliation. If anything ever gets off there, it's great that there's all that added visibility to help you get to where you should be.
Yeah.
Also, now there is going to be a new primary data source within the custom report writer so that we can actually have reconciliation match reports. Now, if you're utilizing a lot of the matching rules within the bank rec, this is going to give you a lot of detail as to what is actually what rules are actually doing your matching transactions for your banking transactions. So this can be built from the custom report writer with the new field. An example of what this might look like, and maybe it'll be a little bit easier to see when we actually distribute the deck. But we can get a custom report that is showing us the matching sequence, and it's showing us exactly what transactions are being matched by what rule, and if that transaction was auto matched or not auto matched. So give you a lot of visibility, allow you to drill in there and see, exactly how your matching rules are working. And that can help you hone those matching rules and say, oh, well, I was expecting this rule to match to this transaction and it's not. You'd be able to go in there and figure out exactly what it is that you can change in your sequencing or add to your rules. And, that's going to make month-end reconciliation a lot easier.
Yeah, and as Michael said, that this is available as an area that you can a reporting area in the custom report writer, but in release 2, they are expecting to have a delivered set of reports, so you won't need to build your own. But in release 1, you can build your own and play around with that. The the importing of data into Intacct has always been one of its strongest features, but the templates to make those uploads were always residing in the upload data or company data page, which don't necessarily want all of your users to have access to who need to get down or to get those import templates. So now with certain upload areas, including the ones you see on the list here, journal entries and accounts and whatnot, the download template button is right there on the upload screen. So makes a lot more sense for especially restricting functional users who don't need to have access to the whole list of uploadable company data.
Yeah, I definitely like this because, there's some records where that download template is there when you go to import, and it is nice to see that. And then there's some that's not. So I like the uniformity of like the import templates that we're going to be using the most. They're going to be right there on that record. So increase user experience. You're not wondering whether or not you have to go into company, and then you don't have to give the company access to users who may not ever need it.
The consolidation product has a couple of new things, and I don't think we have any customers currently using advanced ownership consolidation, but we have some who are looking at it. That advanced ownership is where you can have partial ownership and minority interest included in your consolidation roll-ups. But the thing that I think is super exciting here is if you do a single currency consolidation, and then you're looking at your consolidated report and trying to figure out where the numbers in it came from. Previously, you could only go back to the consolidating book entry, but now you will be able to drill all the way through that to your source transactions, just like you were in a regular financial report that wasn't consolidated. And again, that's available only for single currency consolidation because it's, otherwise it wouldn't be able to track through the currency conversion. But for those who are using domestic consolidations, that this is going to be a big time saver. So as Michael mentioned at the top of the agenda, there's a couple of products that are coming down the road that we just wanted to mention so that you can keep in mind. One is Sage Intacct Data Flow, which is an integration tool, what they call an iPaaS, integration platform as a service, that is now being sold by Sage Intacct so that you can integrate other data sources and outputs with your Sage Intacct data without having to write code. And there are some pre-built data flows that will be included with that for specifically CRM like HubSpot. That'll be coming out in March, I believe.
Also, along with that, a new forms and operations flow product. So this can help you streamline a lot of workflows and then also build forms to ingest data into Intacct. We're really excited to see they have notes for pre-built nonprofit workflows from the library with support such as grant making, donor advised funds, and vendor contracting. So that has the potential to be really, really cool and really useful. So excited to see more on that in the future.
Yeah, we definitely have a couple of customers who will be able to make use of that.
Yeah. So just as a recap, today we covered AP automation, both the line level coding and the PO matching, the version history for financial reports, which is definitely one of my favorite, the Sage Intacct professional services automations, the restricting vendor and customer contacts list, some new inventory utilities that will help you keep your inventory on track, reconciliation matching reports, that new data pool, downloading the import templates much easier, not having to drill into the company section of Intacct, consolidation drill down, drilling through like Tom just mentioned, and then also some new products that are coming on down the line. Now, these are things that we felt like we wanted to mention with this release. It is by no means a full list. So where do you find the full list? Well, for one, we have a nice link here for you in the deck, but also in the Intacct homepage. If you go to the natural homepage of Intacct, they always have the new release notes as soon as they're available out here on the front page. So you can click here. And they are segmented. We do have the first release here. And then if you are only concerned with things in payroll, you can view just that. Or you can go ahead and scroll down and view all the release notes. Also, you can see other current releases if you go down to this section, and you'll be able to see, last quarter's release.
Yeah, and I see on the
Now,
homepage now they have a hidden gems, so you can get a recap of last year's release items too. If you haven't been regularly attending our webinars, and I don't know why you would skip them, but anyway, you can get the recap there on the hidden gems of 2023.
And that is nice to do because there's some pretty big features that have been coming out, and you may not be aware of them. Also on the homepage, I do just want to mention it's a great way to get other resources like the Help Center, Community, and Sage University. For instance, I was talking about Community earlier, and I'll just go ahead and briefly log in. If you ever have an idea or a pain point within Intacct, the ideas section is a great place to do that because that is how I see a lot of these features come to be. So a lot of the features will start here in the ideas section. And as you can see, they can be up or down voted. I don't think I've ever downvoted anything, Tom. But you can
I
upvote
think
the
I did
things that
once.
really you're like, that's not important. But you can see here, there's items that definitely get quite a bit of upvotes. There's a lot of people requesting these new features, and that's how you catch traction with Sage and see those new feature requests come out. So once again, if you ever have like a pain point and you're like, oh, I really wish the system would do that. Maybe someone else is also wishing that. Go out there, do an upvote. Or maybe they haven't thought of it yet. Go out there, create an idea because it can be helpful to you and many other users in the system.
Yep.
And as I mentioned, this is a quarterly release. Sage is updating the system quarterly, and we have that schedule. So our next release will be May 10th. And then as you can see, the rest of the releases for the year as well. So definitely be on the lookout for all the new features and all the new products that are coming out.
And as usual, we will have our webinar about release 2 on the day before May 9th is when we're planning for that.
Absolutely. So definitely tune into that too.
And hey, speaking of webinars, if you have any interest in or issues with managing your company credit cards, I'm teaming up with Polkit from File next week to show some great solutions for managing company credit cards as well as reimbursable expenses. And if you want to register for that, Shannon put a link in the chat, and also you can find it on our website or on LinkedIn. And it would be great to see you all there on February 21st for a review of File's credit card capabilities. And with that, we have covered everything that we needed to for today, and we welcome any contacts, questions. If you want to look into that early adopter status for any of those functions, just let us know. You have our email addresses, and just give us a shout. And we will see you next quarter. Thanks.